Hi everybody, I'm Lacy Schoen, founder of Real Women, Real Success. I know it's been a while since I've made a one-on-one video for you, and the reason for that is that I just don't want to make videos and waste your time if there's not something important to say. So I feel like in the last year I've done a lot of talking about a lot of important issues that were important to you, but I don't want to just get on camera just to get on camera. I want to actually be of value, so I will never waste your time by doing a video that either I don't think has some value for women or that I've been asked to do. So today I am getting on camera to talk about something with you that is very, very near and dear to my heart. In fact, my company, Real Women, Real Success, is named after this concept, and that's being a real woman. And what I want for you to get from this video today is that it is okay to be a real woman with problems and imperfections. And to sort of share with you how much I think that's okay, I want to share some of my own things that I am going through right now so that you can be heartened that you're not alone. Anybody that tells you the path to success, either personally or professionally, isn't paved with challenges and things that aren't perfect in our lives is just not only wrong, but they're hiding something, because life is a challenge and progress is a challenge and going to where we want to go is a constant challenge. Life is growth. If you're not growing, you're dying. So these challenges are brought to us, I believe, to help us grow and help us become better people. So, I'm going to share with you a couple of challenges I'm having right now. One of them that I know many women experience is that I have been up and down in my weight for so long now. And there was a good long time within the last 12 years where I had a 10-year run at having a pretty good size and weight. But you know what? I was on a very strict Atkins type diet that entire time. And while I worked out and everything, and that worked for me, it's not a healthy diet to stay on for your entire life. And I knew I had to change something. Well, something happened to me that made me change it, and that is that I started having thyroid issues. A couple years ago, I started taking thyroid medication, and if any of you are on thyroid medication or know anything about that, it has a vast impact on your weight. So I now take medication to replace the hormones that my thyroid isn't producing. And this has really caused a lot of ups and downs in my weight. It's been at first very hard for me to deal with. I love fashion. I love to feel stylish. I love to wear my favorite suits, which don't fit me right now. And I've been through this process that I want to share with you of self-acceptance and understanding something that I want you to understand, and that is your value is not in your weight. Your value is not in how tiny that you are. And I really do understand that now. And I think if you don't know who Ashley Graham is, she calls herself a body activist. She's actually a plus size model. She doesn't like that term plus size, but I don't know how else to call it out. She's not skinny, let's put it that way. She's a beautiful woman and really embraces herself just the way she is, and does videos and tours all around the world talking about this very issue. And there's no desire on my part to say that you shouldn't be thin or whatever. What I am saying is that sometimes it becomes really difficult for us to hold our ideal. And I know that I have a friend right now who's training for a marathon and really just believed that she wasn't feeling well at a higher weight or whatever. And that is just fine. There's nothing wrong with exercising. And I mean, I exercise every day, or getting on a path to a really high level of activity to maintain your weight. But here is where I am in my life that may be viewed as imperfection, but I view it as just perfect, and that is this. Most women who struggle with their weight tend to go up and down. And with the people that I know that get into these long-term athletic sort of activities to lose weight, it has been a lifelong up and down cycle for most of them. And where I am at right now, in addition to feeling good, working on feeling good about where I am and who I am right now, is also trying to find that lifelong balance of exercise and the way I eat with my body chemistry changing, with the challenges that I'm having, and accepting that as figuring out how to be healthy for the long term. So for me, other than the exercise that I do 5 days a week now for longer than my doctor says I should, I'm not going to go probably further than that unless it's under doctor's orders, because I want to have a natural life that I can maintain. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I've decided to be okay with that process while I'm doing it. Here's another thing I did that has made me feel so much better. And this is a really hard thing for a lot of women to do, but I threw out all my clothes that don't fit. And that was 2 sizes ago. All they were in my closet was a reminder of what I'm not. And a lot of people will say, well, gosh, you know, when you lose that weight, because I do believe that I'll get back to where I want to be. But when you do that, your clothes, you'll no longer have them. And my thinking is, when I get to where I want to be again, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to want to buy a whole new wardrobe. And so I'll go out and I'll reward myself that way for having figured this out. But until that point, I went out and I got clothes that I can feel good in, that I can feel stylish in, that I can feel confident in. And I didn't go out and get all new things. I went to a consignment store because I just couldn't get my head wrapped around buying a whole new wardrobe. Plus, I'm sort of minimizing in my life these days, so I felt like I didn't want to have just a ton of clothes in my closet. I'd rather have many more shoes than clothes in my closet. So that's what it looks like right now. But I want to encourage you to go through this process for yourself of self-acceptance, no matter what you decide to do. If you're not happy with your weight or the way that you look, is figure out the value that you have that has nothing to do with your looks and embrace that. Find people who love you for those characteristics, for those internal things that make you a special and unique individual. I'm very, very lucky. I have a husband who does that. I have a husband who also struggles with his weight. So he understands that. That may not be something that everybody has, but certainly you may have a girlfriend or somebody. That's why I mentioned Ashley Graham, who is an advocate for women like us that struggle with our weight, because that acceptance, I do believe, makes you freer to pursue solutions. And for me, my solutions aren't about diet or more exercise right now. They're about figuring out how to get to my ideal weight in a natural way that doesn't involve too much restriction on my diet or on my activities, and that's probably going to take me a while. I will share with you that I think stress has a lot to do with weight gain, and I am very much working on my own levels of stress in my life through meditation. I'm working on my level of happiness through meditation and through growth of my insides. And so the more you can find value in your insides, I believe, the happier you're going to be while you work through whatever it is you need to work through. You are not your looks. You are what is inside that is so valuable to this world, and I hope you'll take heart with that this is a natural process, especially as we get older, to kind of go up and down. Find a way to embrace that and love yourself anyway, because you are okay just the way you are, and I'm going through it with you, and I will keep you posted as I hit my highs and lows on this journey. But it's very, very important for us women to be thinking about this from a self-esteem perspective, okay? Because I can guarantee that most men don't think about their weight going up and down with nearly as much emphasis and heaviness of heart as women do, because they know their value doesn't rest on it. And literally ours doesn't either. Another thing that a lot of people deal with is ailing parents or children or family. And I know just, gosh, a lot of women right now dealing with heavy family obligations of someone going through cancer or having some illness or need. And, you know, I just want to say, I think it's so important to be okay with that process. I have another video that some of you may have watched that talks about dark times or challenging times in our lives. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being real and in the moment and figuring out how to successfully get through that process. Right now, I'm dealing with a diagnosis of thyroid cancer. In December, I will have my thyroid out. I'm not scared. I have a lot of support around me, but I know an awful lot of women going through that. And by the way, if there's any videos that I need to make after that, I'll probably have to take a break from that point in time as well, because I'll need to let my throat rest and see what they say about the future diagnosis. But my point in sharing all this with you is not to tell you so much about my story, but to let you know I'm a real woman, and I'm still very, very confident about who I am and my value in the world, because it's not about being perfect. It's about growing and dealing with the things that come your way. And I know that you will have these same things. Part of the reason I named my company Real Women, Real Success is so that women could find heart and comfort in being real, in sharing their struggles. And I'm not suggesting that you be a downer everywhere that you come into contact with people. I think it's important to grieve when there's a shock in your life, but then to move past it, to see what you can learn from it. So I've just got some tips here that I want to share with you to get through these processes in your life when things aren't perfect, that hopefully will be helpful to you. Number one, I've already said, embrace the process with anything like this, whether it's a family illness or an illness that you have yourself, or working through weight issues and exercise and diet and changes in your body. It's all a process. And if we can stop looking necessarily at the end goal constantly and feel like, oh my gosh, there's this gap, I'm not there yet. But think of the process as getting you there. It's a little more comfortable to be in the moment before things are all figured out, before things are resolved. Find something you love about yourself and stick with that as your focus, okay? With the weight thing, for me, I have certain body parts and certain things about me that I do like. And I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it was easy to focus on those instead of what I don't like. It absolutely is not easy, but I had to do it to change my life and change the way I'm going to maintain my weight and be happy in the world. I had to change it. So now I focus on the fact that I like my shoulders, I like my legs, I like my hair, I like certain things about myself. Find those things that you like about yourself, accentuate those with any new clothes you're going to buy, look at those in the mirror, and try to move away from focusing on the negative parts. We're so good at doing sometimes, being our own worst critic. If you don't know the path right now or how this is all going to work out, have confidence that you'll figure it out. One of the things that men do so well is they are confident without being certain, meaning they're certain they'll figure something out. They don't have to know how they're going to figure it out right now. They just have confidence that they'll figure it out. That's an area where women aren't so strong, and I like to say try to be confident without being certain. Know you'll become certain later. Know you'll figure it out. If you believe in the law of attraction at all, you know that when you ask for an answer and you're certain you'll get it, it comes to you. So look at that as one other strategy to have confidence in yourself that you will figure this out. You're fully capable. Know there's something you're supposed to learn from this. This is such a valuable lesson when it comes to the heartache of some of the real things that we go through in life, right? Whether it's weight, illness, a loss, a death in the family, there's always something to learn. If we don't focus on what there is to learn from something that occurs in our lives, then we're not growing, and chances are we'll become more and more depressed and have less of a positive outlook on life, which is absolutely a driver towards the future and towards that better life. So know that you're supposed to learn something from what you're going through. And here's a big one for women. Don't worry about what others think. I really struggled with this. I know there were people that thought that I was a nice looking woman when I was a lot thinner. And for the longest time, it hurt me to think that people don't think I'm attractive anymore. People might not think that I am beautiful anymore. And I really had to let that go. How did I do that? You know, it's interesting. I think part of the process was recognizing how shallow that is, and although appreciating it, knowing that it had nothing to do with actually how beautiful I might be on the inside, and were some of those people who had taken the time to understand how beautiful I am on the inside. The other thing I did is I noticed how many people are not the perfect size or weight that I really respect. I mean, there are tons of people in this world, brilliant people in this world, who are not the ideal or model weight. And so looking at those people and seeing how they can be respected has been heartening to me, to focus on those things that are respectable about me. And also, again, going back to doing things that made me feel good, focusing on my good parts, buying a wardrobe that fits. So those are some things that you can do, and that will help minimize your focus on what other people think about you. Really, really important. Let yourself be real. These are real struggles. We all go through them. And I think so many times, in order to look successful, we try to hide that we're going through them, which is why I'm sharing all this with you today. Sure, it's fine to be private, but know this: if someone isn't sharing their struggles with you, and you're comparing yourself to them, you're comparing your insides to their outsides. If you can't see someone's insides, you don't know what's real. And again, part of the idea of real women, real success, is to acknowledge life and progress and success is oftentimes ugly as we get there. It has bumps and stumbles and mistakes along the way. It has things that don't go to our advantage, and it has mistakes of our own and things that make us humble along the way. And admitting those is something that we can all do for each other as women. I'd love to see more women in leadership roles, and I think acknowledging those challenges will help all ships rise, and it'll help us feel better about the journey, which is my last point. You know, life's not about perfection. I think of perfecting as a verb. It's a journey, and if we can learn to embrace what is great about the process, about what we learn in the process, about how we figure things out, then I think it becomes much easier to manage our expectations. And if you want to evaluate your life, and is it what you want it to be, and is it good enough for what you want out of life, look back and see if you can see that I have progressed all this time. What was I like 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Have I progressed since that time? Have I learned anything? Have I become a better version of me? And don't take what others think as a moniker of your success in that. You know, I have to tell you, the more I grow and learn and perfect myself on my journey, there are some times where people I know and even friends don't like Lacy 4.0 or Lacy 5.0, the next version of me. That could happen to you. What's important is, do you like yourself 4.0, 5.0, and beyond? And do you acknowledge wholeheartedly and transparently that there's struggles along the way? You can feel comfortable in that. Know that you have my support. I know what real life is like. I know what a real woman is. I am a real woman, and I know you are too. So I hope this was helpful. I look forward to seeing you the next time I have a poignant point to talk about. I'll keep you informed on my own situation. I expect great results. I'll be having my surgery during the holidays this year, and that will be just fine. I'm confident. There's so many people who have gone through this process, and so many people who are just fine now after having the surgery. I also want to encourage you to pick up this book. I bought a bunch of copies of it. I'm one of 20 authors in this book. All of them are women. And since we're talking about supporting each other, this book has 20 chapters of women who were very forthright about their struggles, very real. And it's a very healing book to read, and also very instructive and inspiring. And I will give it to you for free. It's an Amazon bestseller. All I ask is that you pay for shipping, $4.99. You can go on my website, realwomenrealsuccess.com, and on the homepage, you can kind of scroll down a little bit, and you can click on the opportunity to get this book. It's called Keys to Conscious Business Growth, but really what it is a book of 20 women bearing their souls of what it took them to succeed as real women, and how they came out on the other side successful. And I know you'll benefit from it. So I know this was a long video. I've already said I hope you got a lot out of it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And always remember, I'm your biggest fan.